Hello friends, welcome to Sethi Botany classes. I am Dr. Meena Sethi. This is video 2 of life cycle of bryophytes. In first video of bryophytes, we studied habitat of bryophyte, thalloid and gametophytic plant body, structure of rhizoids, structure of sex organ. Today, we will study in this video how fertilization occurs in bryophytes, formation of sporophyte, formation of spore, germination of spore, formation of gametophyte, alternation of generations. In first video, I have already explained about the structure of sex organ, but to make a link, we will again study. Now, this is the female sex organ of bryophyte, and this is called as archegonium. Archegonium has a flask shape. Now, this is the dilated part called as venter, and this is the elongated neck. This has egg, which is haploid in genetic constitution, ventral canal cell, and these are neck canal cell. This is the male sex organ of bryophyte. This is called as entheridium. It has club-shaped, spherical or ellipsoidal body, and this is covered by a sterile jacket. Inside, this encloses large number of androcyte mother cell. Each androcyte mother cell can give rise to spermatozoid. Spermatozoid, they are biflagellated and they have elongated nucleus, which is again haploid in genetic constitution. And these flagella help in motility of the enterozoid toward the female structure called as archegonia. Now see, this we have already studied about the structure of archegonia. Now when archegonia is mature, and entheridia is mature. Now, these cells of archegonium, ventral canal cell, and all the neck canal cells, they will degenerate, and this cover cell will open up, and these degenerated cells will come out in the form of mucilage. And when entheridia is mature, there is formation of entherozoids. Now, how fertilization process occur? Now, this is the archegonium which is mature. Here, all the cells have degenerated and they have come out in the form of a mucilage. Now, this mucilage has certain chemical attractants. Now, this entherozoid will be attracted toward this mucilage part, which has certain chemotaxis movement of entherozoid toward this mucilage, and this spermatozoid having elongated nucleus will travel into the neck of the archegonium, and this will reach toward the egg cell. Egg is haploid in genetic constitution, nucleus of spermatozoid and nucleus of egg cell. Now they both will fuse. After fusion, there is formation of a structure called as zygote. So this fusion of entherozoid with the egg cell, this is called as fertilization. And after fertilization, a diploid structure zygote is produced. Now this movement of entherozoid towards the egg cell from the archegonium requires water, and without water, fertilization cannot be completed. Like bryophytes, they are called as amphibious plant. This is because their life cycle is incomplete without water. Water will help in motility of spermatozoid toward the egg and help in fertilization. A diploid zygote is the first cell of sporophytic generation. This is diploid in genetic constitution. Now, this will not undergo meiosis, but this will undergo mitotic cell division. First, 4 cells will be produced, then 8 cells will be produced. Ultimately, this will lead to the formation of sporophyte. And wall of the venter in which diploid zygote is produced, that will develop to form a protective covering called as calyptra that will protect the embryonic part which is developing from the diploid structure called as zygote. Now, zygote will help in formation of sporophyte. The sporophyte is attached to the gametophyte. Sporophyte, when it is attached to the gametophyte, this will absorb water and minerals from the gametophyte. Partially, this may get nourishment also from the gametophyte. Now, this is the sporophyte of Funaria. Now, Funaria has sporophyte which is attached here to the gametophytic part. This part which is embedded in this Funaria gametophyte is called as foot, and this elongated part is called as seta, and this part is called as capsule. So we can say sporogonium or sporophyte of Funaria is differentiated into foot, seta, and capsule. Foot helps in attachment of the sporophyte with the gametophyte. This will also absorb water and minerals for the sporophyte. This will also take certain nourishment from the gametophyte, and seta will carry all these materials, nutrient, minerals, and water toward the capsule. Capsule part is having sporogenous tissue, which will help in formation of the spore mother cell, and spore mother cell will undergo meiosis to form haploid spores. Like in Funaria, we discussed sporophyte is differentiated into foot, seta, and capsule. Now, seta may be absent in certain genera of the bryophyte. One example we are taking, which is also in your syllabus, Anthoceros. Now, this is the internal structure of the sporophyte of Anthoceros. See here, this part is having intercalary meristematic zone, which will help in cell division. And this is the foot part, and this part is the capsule part. Now, in capsule are present sporogenous tissue. So it is differentiated into foot, intercalary meristematic zone, and capsule part. Capsule is having sporogenous tissue, which will further differentiate into spore mother cell and spores. So seta is absent. Sporogonium is mainly concerned with the production of spores. Like we have seen that it has sporogenous tissue, which will differentiate to form spore mother cell, which will undergo meiosis to form haploid spores. Anything which is produced after meiosis is haploid. Now, all the spores, they have same shape, size, and structure. So such condition is called as homosporous condition. But in certain cases, like in Markensia, there may be two thallus, male thallus and female thallus. It shows a dioecious condition or monoecious condition. But when both the sex organ, that is male and female, they are born on the same thallus, this is called as monoecious condition. In that case, when condition is monoecious, when spore mother cell will form four spores, out of the four spores, two are going to form male thallus and two are going to form female thallus. Otherwise, structure, size, shape is same, but they are physiologically different. So this is called as physiologically heterospory, which is found in Markensia. Now this is the mature sporophyte of again Anthoceros. See, this is the foot part. This is the intercalary meristematic zone, which is helping in cell division. And this part is the capsule part. In the capsule part, you can see this is the central part, which is helping in conduction of water, mineral, and nutrients to the sporophyte part. And this part, lower part, is showing the sporogenous tissue. And these are the spore mother cell. And these are haploid spores, which are undergoing which are being produced from the spore mother cell, and these spores will be liberated from the sporogonium or sporophyte after dehiscence. Now, these haploid spores, when they are liberated from the sporophyte, they will fall on the suitable substratum where moist conditions are available. If moist conditions are available, these spores will start germinating. If we see the structure of each spore, this is bounded by a covering called as exine, which is the outermost covering. Inner covering is called as intine. Then it has cytoplasm and nucleus. When it gets nourishment as well as water from the substratum, this will start germinating. So exine will rupture and this intine will come out in the form of a germ tube. And its nucleus, because it is haploid in genetic constitution, this will undergo mitotic cell division. This will undergo mitotic cell division, two nuclei will be produced and cell formation will start. So this may germinate from both the sides, this may germinate from one side. So ultimately, spore will germinate to form the gametophyte. In case of Rixia, Markensia, and Anthoceros, directly spore germinates to form the gametophyte. But in case of Funaria, it is different. In Funaria, when spore germinate, this will form protonema. And protonema, which will bear buds called as protonemal buds. And those protonemal buds will give rise to gametophyte. So Funaria, it is different, but in case of Rixia, Markensia and other genera, spores will germinate to form the gametophyte, but in Funaria, this will form the protonema-like structure. Protonema will bear protonemal buds, and those protonemal buds, they will form the gametophyte. So we have seen in bryophyte, gametophyte, which is haploid thallus, bears a sex organ Anthridia and Archegonia. Gametophyte is haploid, thalloid, giving rise to sporophyte after fertilization process, like it bears sex organs like Anthridia and Archegonia. Fertilization occur. After fertilization, zygote produces the sporophyte. Then sporophyte bears a sporogenous tissue. Sporogenous tissue forms spore mother cell. They will undergo meiosis and haploid spores they are produced. Haploid spores will germinate to form the gametophyte. So gametophyte will again bear sex organs, Anthridia and Archegonia. Fertilization will take place and sporophyte will be produced. So we can say gametophyte has given rise to sporophyte and sporophyte has given rise to gametophyte. Both genetic question is different. In gametophyte, it is haploid. In sporophyte, it is diploid. But two generation, gametophyte and sporophyte, they are alternating with each other. And if we see their morphology, gametophyte is different, sporophyte is different. If the morphology of gametophyte and sporophyte is different, this is also called as heteromorphic type of alternation of generation. Hetero mean different, morphic mean morphology. So morphology of gametophyte and sporophyte is different. So this is called as heteromorphic type of alternation of generations. Now see, this is the life cycle of Markensia. Now these are two thalli of Markensia. This is the male thallus. This is the female thallus. A female thallus will bear Archegonia and male thallus will bear Anthridia. This has egg. This has spermatozoid. Both will fuse. Diploid zygote is produced. Now this will undergo mitotic cell division, 2 cells, 4 cells, 8 cells, and so many cells. Ultimately, a sporophyte will get differentiated, which has spore mother cell, and this spore mother cell will undergo meiosis to form haploid spores, and it will germinate to form the gametophyte, like we discussed in Markensia. Out of the 4 spores, 2 will form the male thallus and 2 will form the female thallus. This is about graphic life cycle of bryophyte. Like if we give the life cycle in diagrams, this is called as diagrammatic. And if we give in writing like this is called as graphic life cycle. So life cycle starts from the main plant body of bryophyte, which is gametophyte, haploid in genetic constitution. This bears sex organ Anthridium and Archegonia. Now, because gametophyte is bearing the sex organ, now they will be haploid. Both are haploid. Though they are multicellular, jacketed sex organs, but their genetic constitution is haploid. Now, Anthridium will produce an androcyte mother cell. Again, they will be haploid. And this will produce entherozoid. This will be haploid. Archegonia will produce egg. This will be haploid. Now, fertilization occur, which is also called as syngamy, or we can say fusion of gamete. Then diploid structure, zygote is produced. It will undergo mitotic cell division and sporophytic plant body is produced. Now, this sporophyte, as we have already discussed, this is attached to the gametophyte, and when it is attached, this is also getting water, mineral, and partial nourishment from the gametophytic plant body. Now, this sporophytic plant body bears the sporogenous tissue. Sporogenous tissue at maturity forms spore mother cell. The spore mother cell will undergo meiosis to form haploid spores. Now, haploid spore will germinate to form the directly gametophytic plant body, which will be haploid, like we discussed in Markensia, in Anthoceros. They will directly germinate to form the gametophytic plant body, but in Funaria, this will form the protonema, and protonema will bear the buds, and this will form the gametophytic plant body. So here we can say meiosis is occurring, and here mitosis is occurring, right? And this part of the life cycle is diploid, that is diploid in genetic constitution, and this is also sporophytic phase, like zygote, formation of sporophyte, sporogenous tissue, spore mother cell. This will constitute sporophytic phase, and this part where spore germinate to form the gametophyte and bears a sex organ. fertilization occurs, and before fertilization process, this whole phase is gametophytic and this phase is sporophytic. So gametophyte give rise to sporophyte and sporophyte give rise to gametophyte. This is called as alternation of generation. And if their morphology is different, this is called as heteromorphic. If their morphology is same, this is called as homomorphic alternation of generation. Thank you for watching my video. I hope everything is clear to you. If you have enjoyed my video, please like, share and subscribe.